You've felt it, haven't you? That heavy silence in the air. The kind that presses on your chest late at night when your thoughts drift toward him. There's something he has never said aloud. But the angels say he thinks of you in every pause between his uncertainties. There's a reason your paths crossed. No coincidence could ever create a bond so strangely magnetic, so quietly consuming. You were not a fleeting chapter in his life. You were meant to be a turning point. A pause that forced his soul to question the life he believed he wanted. The angels whisper that heaven has a way of dismantling what's fake. You, dear soul, were the divine disruption. He didn't expect you. He didn't ask for you. But your light arrived like truth breaking through clouds, unapologetically radiant. You stirred a part of him that had been long forgotten. A part that remembered longing, depth, and the sacred ache of truly being seen. And now, everything he thought he understood about love feels incomplete. Like a sentence left hanging in the air. Your presence, the angels say, reminded him of everything he had buried. The softness in your voice, the way your eyes don't deceive, the way you listen without trying to fix, it's slowly unraveling him. He wanted answers. You offered him mirrors. He craved safety. You brought fire. But not the kind that destroys, the kind that awakens. And still, he hasn't told you what he's feeling. Because the truth is, your silence terrifies him. Not the silence of distance, but the silence of knowing you won't plead. You won't chase. You won't diminish yourself to make him feel larger. And that's why he's unraveling. He feels your absence not as a void, but as a presence too powerful to ignore. The angels show me that even when you're quiet, your energy wraps around him like a prayer. A prayer he doesn't know how to respond to. Yet, he feels chosen by it. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, the angels echo the words from Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Because your love, your very presence, was prophesied. And even now, his soul recognizes you as something sacred, even if his words still haven't found their way. This isn't just a love story. It's a divine assignment. And it's only just beginning. He does not fear you. He fears what you make him feel. The angels say his walls were not built overnight. They rose slowly, stone by stone, wound by wound. Each one placed by a disappointment. A goodbye. A version of love that demanded too much and gave too little. And then there you were. Not asking anything. Not trying to prove your worth. Just being. And your presence was a contradiction he could not comprehend. You made him question what he thought he knew about intimacy. About connection. About love that isn't transactional. Love that doesn't punish. Love that doesn't demand masks. But it also made his heart flinch. Because if you were real, if what he felt was true, then everything he believed about himself, about what he deserved, would have to change. The angels show me that he's still holding the memory of a heartbreak he never allowed himself to grieve. Maybe it was a parent who never saw him. Maybe it was a past lover who loved his surface, but not the storm inside. And now, faced with someone who sees beneath it all, he's frightened by the exposure. He pulls away, not because you're too much, but because he's terrified you might be everything. Everything he's ever wanted. And everything he fears losing. The angels whisper, he's not pushing you away. He's pushing against his own shadow. His distance isn't a rejection of you, it's a struggle against a version of himself that doesn't believe he's lovable. He may show up as indifferent, as cold, as detached. But beneath the armor is a man gasping for air, longing for the kind of love that doesn't end in pain. He doesn't yet know how to receive you. But his soul remembers you. And that's why he stays entangled, even when his hands let go. He thinks space will make the feelings go away. But the silence only magnifies them. He dreams of you in metaphors he cannot name. He senses you in songs, in the way certain moments ache without explanation. And he wonders how someone like you, so whole, so luminous, could still look at him with soft eyes. The angels say, you didn't meet him at the wrong time. You met him at the moment his soul was ready to begin the healing. So when he withdraws, do not see it as an ending. See it as the moment the truth began to rise. He's not ignoring you. He's unraveling. The angels lean in close now. They place their hands over your heart, and they ask you, when was the last time you chose yourself, not out of necessity, but out of reverence? You have poured into others so effortlessly, so instinctively, that you've forgotten how holy it is to pour into your own soul. This love, this connection, as sacred as it may be, cannot thrive if you abandon yourself for it. The angels say, do not lose your light while trying to guide him through the dark. Your tenderness is not weakness. Your boundaries are not rejection. You are allowed to step back, to rest, to breathe. Yes, he may be the one in turmoil, but you are not here to be consumed by his storm. You are not here to bleed just to prove your love is real. Love, in its truest form, never asks you to disappear. It never demands your silence, nor your exhaustion. The angels want you to reclaim the parts of yourself you've handed over out of hope. That version of you who waits, who shrinks, who pleads, she is not needed here. What is needed is your wholeness, your inner glow, the way your presence softens a room without ever dimming to fit inside it. This season is not about waiting. It is about returning to yourself, to the voice that whispers, you are not hard to love. You just forgot your own worth. Let this love unfold if it must, but do not let it eclipse your radiance. He may be finding himself, but you must not lose yours in the process. The angels are wrapping you in quiet strength. And in the spaces where confusion once lived, they are planting clarity. Let it grow. There's a reason he can't look at you for too long. A reason his eyes soften, then harden. The angels whisper, you are the mirror he wasn't ready to face. Your light doesn't just illuminate him. It exposes. The beauty you see in him, he hasn't learned to see in himself. Not yet. When you entered his life, you didn't come as a storm. You came as a quiet truth. And that, dear soul, is far more disarming. In your presence, he feels the ache of what he's been avoiding. Your kindness unsettles him, because it asks nothing and yet reveals everything. He sees how you love. Freely. Softly. Not to bind, but to bless. And it terrifies him. Because somewhere inside, he's afraid he doesn't deserve that kind of love. The angels say, you reflect not just his potential, but also the pain he's hidden from for years. This is why he sometimes vanishes. Not because of what you lack, but because of what you awaken. He's not used to being seen without being judged. But you look at him like he's already whole. And that is what shakes him the most. Every compliment, every soft silence between you, echoes louder than he's ready to hear. Your gentleness reveals the harshness he's used to. Your presence reminds him of the tenderness he didn't know he needed. You did not come to fix him. And you must not try. You are not his healer. You are his reflection. Let him meet his own gaze. Let him wrestle with his truth. The angels say, your love is not a ladder. It's a window. Let him look through it, or walk away. But do not become the wall he leans on to avoid himself. Something in him has shifted. You may not see it yet, but the angels have. There's a stillness inside him now, not silence but awareness. The kind that comes after a long night of wrestling with ghosts. After the illusions crack, and light seeps through places once sealed shut. He's beginning to feel again. Not in waves, but in sparks. Flashes of warmth when he remembers your laugh. A quiet ache when he finds your name tucked in his thoughts. It scares him, but it also soothes. He doesn't yet know how to name what's happening. But the angels say, he's awakening to a love that doesn't hurt. You were not just a chapter. You were the page that made him stop and reread everything. The way you listen without needing to speak. The way your energy holds space, like a sanctuary he never knew he needed. All of this is beginning to soften his edges. The cold logic that once protected him now feels brittle. The detachment he wore as armor feels too heavy. Your memory is like a gentle rain falling in the dry places of his spirit. And with each passing thought of you, he moves a little closer, not to your body, but to his own truth. The angels show me his soul stirring at night. He turns over in bed, unsure why he suddenly misses someone he never fully held. And yet, you are there. In the background of his breath. In the silence after he prays. He's beginning to understand that this wasn't just timing. It was alignment. And now, his soul is catching up. He leaves. Then he returns. And you ask yourself, why does he always come back, only to drift again? The angels say, he is not rejecting you. He is resisting what you awaken in him. This pattern, this dance between closeness and distance, is not random. It is a cycle born of fear. Every time he gets too close to the edge of surrender, his mind pulls him back. Logic fights spirit. Control fights vulnerability. He tastes safety in your presence, but then remembers the times when closeness led to pain. His nervous system trembles. And so he runs. But where does he go? Nowhere that silences your voice within his soul. Nowhere that offers peace greater than what you gave freely. You are not imagining this connection. You are not misreading his return. You are simply witnessing a man at war with a love he doesn't yet know how to embrace. The angels show me a heart that beats between memory and hope. He wants you, but wishes to remain unchanged. And that cannot coexist. So he tries to pause the inevitable. He pulls away, hoping the feelings will fade. But they don't. They rise. And with them, the urge to come back grows stronger. He sees your stillness as a sanctuary. And when the world becomes too loud, he comes seeking silence. Your kind of silence. The one that sees him but doesn't demand. That holds space but doesn't confine. The angels whisper, this isn't about indecision. It's about inner resistance. Each return isn't a tease. It's a testimony. A soul that cannot let go of what feels like home. But until he faces the storm inside, he will keep circling, drawn to your light, yet afraid to stand in it. He won't say it. Not out loud. Not yet. But the angels say he feels your love like a bomb pressed into old wounds. It's not grand gestures he remembers. It's the way you looked at him when he was silent. The patience in your voice when he didn't know how to express himself. The softness of your presence when he was most guarded. This kind of love doesn't announce itself. It seeps in. Slowly. Quietly. Until one day, it becomes the only thing that feels real. He may not call it healing, but his soul does. Because since you entered his life, he hasn't been the same. The bitterness that once protected him no longer fits. The cold detachment, it's melting. Not all at once. But enough that he notices the warmth. The angels say, your love didn't demand transformation. It inspired it. You didn't try to fix him. And because of that, something inside him began to heal. Now, even when he's far, he carries you. In the way he breathes deeper. In the way he pauses before reacting. In the way he's learning to be gentle with himself. You were the first person to touch his soul without touching his body. That's why the bond hasn't faded. That's why your absence echoes louder than any conversation. The healing you provided was never loud, never forceful. It was in the silence. In the steadiness. In the way you stayed true to your light. And now, he finds himself craving more than relief. He craves peace. Your peace. He may still be healing, but he knows now, love doesn't have to hurt to be true. The nights have grown quieter. But not empty. The angels say, there is movement in the silence. You may not see the shift yet. But heaven is rearranging things on your behalf. Every unanswered question, every delay, every almost, has been held in divine hands. There is a timing far more sacred than what the human heart can grasp. And yours is being honored. He feels the pull again. Not just toward you, but toward a version of himself he thought was long buried. The angels show me the slow unfolding of truth. Not in lightning strikes, but in gentle nudges. He remembers moments with you, not for what was said, but for what he felt. A kind of safety that felt like destiny. And though he doesn't name it, his soul recognizes that your connection is not coincidence. It is calling. You may wonder if you've waited in vain. If your love dissolved in the silence. But no. The silence was the container. The womb. Where everything hidden began to take form. The angels say, do not confuse stillness with absence. Heaven is always working, especially when you cannot see. And he too is beginning to trust the nudges, the dreams, the memories, the moments he feels your name rise in his chest like a forgotten prayer. There will be a moment, so ordinary on the outside you might almost miss it, when everything becomes clear. And you will realize that every delay was not denial. It was alignment. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2 verse 3, the path is unfolding, my love. Not behind you. Not ahead. But under your very feet. He hides it well. The trembling beneath his calm. The hesitation behind his laughter. But the angels see. And they say, he is not distant. He is afraid of being seen. What you awaken in him is not just longing. It is exposure. In your gaze, he feels transparent. Not judged, but witnessed. And for someone who's spent a lifetime constructing walls, that is terrifying. He wants to love you. He truly does. But there's a part of him still convinced that intimacy means loss. That to open his heart is to risk watching it break, again. So he treads lightly. He overthinks the words. He rehearses feelings he never says aloud. Because somewhere inside, he carries a memory of loving too deeply and being left behind. The angels say, you are asking for presence, not perfection. But he is still trying to be flawless before showing up. He fears that if you see the cracks, you'll change your mind. That if he stumbles, you'll stop seeing him as worthy. What he doesn't yet know is that your love was never for the mask. It was for the soul beneath it. And even in his silence, he aches for that kind of safety. He wants to reach for you, but his fingers still tremble. He dreams of softness, but wakes up hardened by habit. Still, the angels whisper, he is closer than you think. Every time he almost speaks, he sheds another layer. Every time he chooses not to run, he chooses love over fear. And slowly, the armor begins to loosen. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, let this be your reminder, vulnerability is not his weakness. It is the doorway. And he is learning to knock. There comes a moment when the soul exhales. When the search ends, not because the answer is found, but because peace replaces the question. The angels gather around you now. They press their presence into your spirit and speak, not in thunder, but in stillness. You have loved well, they say. Now let love come to you. This connection, with all its delays, longings, and silences, was never meant to be a chase. It was meant to be a return. You didn't lose him. You found yourself through him. And that, dear soul, was always the deeper purpose. He may still be learning, still walking through his shadows, but you are ready to stand in your light without dimming it for anyone. Acceptance is not surrender. It is faith. Faith that what is real cannot be lost. And if this love is meant, if it was written in the stars before either of you took your first breath, then it will rise. In its time. In its fullness. You don't need to hold on so tightly anymore. Let go not of him but of the weight. The worry. The doubt. Let go of trying to be understood. You already are, by heaven. The angels say, what is for you will never pass you by. Not because you fought for it, but because it recognized your name. So breathe now. Let the ache turn into reverence. Let the waiting become trusting. Your heart is no longer a battlefield. It is a temple. And the love that finds you next will kneel, not run. Rest, beloved. You've walked far enough. You've done the loving. Now let love arrive.